Being in love with someone can be a very pleasurable experience if you are with someone who truly loves you. And this is the point where most people miss it. Because people can be so deceptive, it is quite difficult to tell when a person is telling the truth or not. As a result, many men and ladies have fallen victim to another sweet-mouthed, charming personality or beguiling smile. Yet, if you are not in so much haste, you would still be able to distinguish the right from the wrong and tell who is speaking the truth from a deceptive tongue. The Bible tells us that by their fruit you shall know them. In essence, a person's true nature will usually be manifested in their behaviors and characters. They might try to pretend for a while, but since it is not real, it cannot last for long. So, one major way of telling if a person truly loves you is by studying such a person over a while and observing their attitudes and behaviors. How do they react to situations around them? What's their attitude to people around them? How do they treat their family members or people who are not so important to them, such as the cleaner, the janitor, the driver, or even a stranger? All of these little things are pointers to who they are within and would determine how they would eventually treat you in the future. Don't be carried away by the euphoria of the moment. As much you enjoy the current attention you are receiving, keep your eyes open so you don't fall prey and end up in the wrong hands. If he opens the door for you, holds your chair and impresses you as a gentleman, but does not so as much acknowledge the waiter or talks crassly to people around, you had better watch it. They would be you in a few months or years, depending on how soon he or she tires of you. How then do you recognize a person who truly loves you? There are numerous signs out there that could indicate that a person truly loves you, but each one should not be used as a measure independently. Rather, when you see all of these signs coming together in a single person, you can be convinced without a doubt that you found the right one for you. First, to understand love, we need to go back to the root. God is love, and anyone that doesn't know God cannot love. As simple as this sounds, many find it difficult to comprehend this and keep searching for love in the wrong places. The perfect sign that a person loves you is that they have the exact characteristics of God. Sure, no one is perfect and you cannot expect to find all the characteristics you want in a particular person. Still, certain signs must be present if a person claims to love you truly. Faithfulness. One of the greatest fears in a relationship is the issue of fidelity. Will he or she be faithful to you? Will they stay or go in the long run? Will they be there during trying periods of your life? These are questions that come to mind in choosing the right partner, and they are very vital. Now, one of the major attributes of God is faithfulness. It is the one thing we can count on even when we have defaulted and come short of His glory. When we choose not to be faithful, the Bible tells us that God cannot deny Himself. He will remain faithful still. Faithfulness involves a lot of things. It means commitment. It means being able to forgive despite being hurt. And it also means choosing to stand by and support the one you love during good and adverse times. This is one thing you should look out for in your partner. Someone that truly loves you is someone you should be able to trust, and trusting people requires them to have a track record of stability and predictability. Check out what people have to say about them. Are they reliable or dependable? Can you trust them with a certain assignment before thinking of trusting them with your heart? What about their service to God? What is their relationship with God like? All of these are important because they would determine if their words match their actions. Besides, there are so many distractions out there, and it takes commitment and true love to keep a man or woman bound in a relationship. So, if he or she is faithful to you and committed to the progress and growth of that relationship, it is a sign that they love you for real. Sacrificial acts. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Since love cannot be separated from God without abusing or diluting the word itself, we must take our example from God. God showed his love towards mankind by releasing his only begotten Son. It was a great sacrifice, but one that had to be made notwithstanding. Even when we were blind to his love and had not accepted him, it didn't stop him from giving. Romans 5:8 says, God commended his love towards us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. This is one test of true love that has proven to be infallible time and over again. Nobody would want to spend their time or give their effort to something they are not interested in. Talk less of sacrificing their convenience for another. Whatever you value, you are ready to give and devote yourself to. Let's go through the annals of the scriptures. Abraham loved God and was going to give up his only son if he had not been stopped by God himself. Jacob served a whole 14 years just to be with Rachel. Ruth left all she had in the land of Moab and chose to follow Naomi. Jonathan risked his father's wrath and stayed friends with David, protecting him on various occasions at the expense of losing the throne, even though he was heir apparent. And finally, Jesus gave up his throne above, took the shame and pain, was rejected by the very ones he came to save, suffered humiliations, and yet endured all for our sakes. What other sign of love could be greater than this? If a person loves you, they will be ready to give up certain things for you. They would be ready to go the extra mile to come through for you. There are times when it would not be convenient to give or let go of certain things, but where the one you love is concerned, you will be willing to do it for them. And making sacrifices takes different forms. It could be in terms of your resources, financially, could involve creating time to be with the one you love, could require you to give up some behaviors or acquiring new skills. Whatever form it is, a person that truly loves you will readily make sacrifices for you. You can easily tell from their willingness to go the extra mile and endure discomfort for your sake. Openness. Usually, before the start or at the beginning of a relationship, there is a tendency to want to impress the other person, and that involves putting your best foot forward. You want them to see your good side and would try all you can to minimize your weaknesses, if possible, hide them. However, when you find emotions running deep and know this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, you can drop the veil and let down your wall of defense, knowing that you are safe with them no matter what. This is another way of finding out if a person is in love with you. Just as they are curious about you and are willing to accept you just the way you are, strength, beauty, faults, and the not so glamorous part of yourself, they would be equally open to you about their lives. There will be no hidden secrets between the both of you that can end up causing issues in the future. It's like with God. He has revealed himself to us through the scriptures and is open to us about his thoughts and plans for us. When you find someone like that, who doesn't hold back and is not ashamed to be his or her true self in your presence, you should know that they are in for the real deal and not just a passing thing. They bring you into their inner circle. Especially with guys, one way you can tell that they are really into you is by the way you have been introduced to the people that matter in their lives. This could be in the other way too. Someone who truly loves you would not be ashamed of you in the presence of their colleagues, friends and family. Rather, they would like to show you off to everyone that cares. If it were possible, they would put up a banner stating, "This is mine," out there for all to see. They see value in you, cherish you, and would be usually protective of you. Remember the story of the prodigal son and his father? Even though the son had done wrong, the father was more than willing to accept him. What's more, he even threw a party on his behalf and kept announcing, "This is my lost son who has now been found." This is the kind of attitude a person who truly loves you would put up.